You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV Saturday Night Live After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's SNL After Show.
Bing is for doing, and we're doing another AfterBuzz After Show for Saturday Night Live for the April 6th episode, hosted by Melissa McCarthy, musical guest Phoenix. Nice. And I'm your host, as always, Matthew Kyle. With me is my two lovely co-hosts, Filup Molina, who's beatboxing. Yoo-hoo! All right. And Roya Taheri.
Hello, hello, hello. How
Breaking her in first time. Thanks for
Very.
joining us. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. How's everybody doing? You guys good?
Yeah.
Great.
Great?
Yeah.
Just hanging in there?
Are you stalling?
I'm not stalling.
You haven't seen the show.
What are we doing?
It's Breaking Bad, right? Breaking
It's
Bad?
AfterBuzz. Host Melissa McCarthy.
Sure. I think you just blanked out because I said all that, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But you know what? You're just stalling because you have news and gossip, so why don't you share that with us?
Ooh.
News and
Do
gossip.
we have any news sounds?
AfterBuzz TV News.
A simple yes would have sufficed. So there is some news going on in the world of Saturday Night Live. I don't know if you guys knew about John Mulaney's upcoming pilot. John Mulaney is an SNL writer, and he's kind of famously the guy who writes Stefan. So not only are we about to lose Stefan while John Mulaney goes and does his show, he's going to take Nasim Pedrad with him. She's going to co-star on this new pilot. So...
And what network is this?
You know what? I don't know. I know it's Lorne Michaels produced. He does a lot at NBC, so maybe it'll stick there. But it'll be pretty cool because he's a great writer. She's a fantastic performer. It just means that we'll see where that hole's going to get filled. In other slightly related news, SNL will be coming to IO West in Los Angeles to do some scoping out in this summer, I think, or around like May. So they might be looking to fill a role.
And how do you know that?
Insider sources.
Insider sources.
Yeah. So it's kind
She
of
sounds
exciting. Yeah. He's not. So I'm pretty excited for that. Also, just in general, if anyone wants to check out something Ebert related, because we all know we lost the great Roger Ebert this week.
Roger Ebert passed away, yeah.
He
used to come to my high school, in fact, every year.
Really?
Yeah, in Boulder, Colorado, we have a thing called the Conference of World Affairs that goes to the high school, or the high school and college. The college is 2 blocks up, University of Colorado. And we would have that once a year for like a week. And there would be different speakers to come, and he would always come to the college
and review
to
their
our
speeches.
High school. He was the one who told me what IMDb was in 1999.
Really?
Yeah, he was the one. He was like, "You should check out IMDb," and I was like, "I'll do that."
But he
Thank you,
pronounced it
Roger
like
Ebert.
MDB or something.
Yeah, well,
people didn't know it yet.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to see some Ebert SNL relationship there's a sketch you can find on NBC's website right now where it's actually kind of a fun idea. It's Siskel and Ebert review the SNL episode as it's taking place. So this is 3 sketches into the show. They it cut to Siskel and Ebert, and they start reviewing the first 3 sketches of the show and how they went, and they give it like a pretty mediocre review, which is pretty fun too, and like some pretty biting criticism in there. At one point, say, "Oh, it just felt like this should have been inverted, where the black guys are the ones that are smart socialists or whatever, and the white guys are the angry ones." They're like, "Oh, I mean, Saturday Night Live doesn't have enough black people to do that." That's like all on their show, and of course, still a problem they have. But very cool thing to check out. That's all I have. Back to you.
Oh my God, I got a back to you.
No,
That was
back to Roya.
Oh, back to
Yeah.
Roya.
Don't try and take my spotlight. What are you
Alright,
trying to do? What are you trying to do,
jeez.
huh?
God, you guys are so
That's-
street here.
News Street.
Yeah, this is HBO's Oz, not Disney's Oz. You know the difference?
I see your
go.
tattoos for
Yeah.
both.
Anywho, speaking of street, Melissa McCarthy,
Mm-hmm.
right? The host of our lovely show. Roya, what did you think of Mrs. Melissa McCarthy?
I think she was awesome, to
Yeah?
be quite honest. She was very comical, even if some of the sketches kind of were not very good. Like that game show one.
Sure. Oh, we'll get into those.
Okay,
Trust
get into
me.
the,
But yeah,
But no, I love
dropping a hint.
Are we going into the opening now? Or?
Well, basically, she is like their opener. By the way, I loved actually that she broke the convention of just like going out there and giving a monologue, but just taking forever to get that out there with those hilarious heels. That's a good example of like putting the show on her shoulders and then letting her fall under the weight of it because it's hilarious when she does that. She is such a good performer that subpar material is elevated by her. I think you're seeing that a lot right now in her film career, where her movies very often are getting like the writing wasn't there, the story had a lot of holes in it. Melissa McCarthy's hilarious in it.
Right.
Like she just is being surrounded by that kind of work.
You did
and
not
elevating it.
like Identity Thief, is what you're telling me?
I did not like Identity Thief.
Okay.
I didn't watch it. I saw a trailer.
Okay, you should watch it because it is actually good.
Is it very good?
It's, yeah.
I heard very mixed things.
It's
Yeah.
a B.
I heard Jason Bateman is good and Melissa McCarthy is good, and that's it.
Well, yeah, those are two characters. on the-
There's a lot more that goes.
Yeah.
The magic of Hollywood. There's all sorts of other things that, and you know, I mean, I didn't watch it, so I'm actually not speaking to it. But I mean, it in general. That's, I mean, Melissa McCarthy movies, other than the Bridesmaids, which you know she has that very awesome role in, aren't typically known as like, oh, the movie's such a good comedy. It's she is so good in it, and I
is
think
true.
she did that a bit in this episode too.
Yeah, and she does a lot of physical comedy too.
Yeah,
you know,
that's-
like in all of her movies and all that stuff. She's
Yeah.
always kind of like I want to Chris Farley it a little bit there. you
Sure,
know?
sure.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's
There's a
kinda-
body type similarity, too. We don't have to hide that. That's obvious.
They're both Caucasian. Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna say Melissa McCarthy was originally in Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, I've heard.
Don't forget that. So she'll always be Sookie to me. And everyone knows her for Bridesmaid, but she was originally in Gilmore Girls.
And her name was Sookie?
Yeah.
Her character name was Sookie.
Did they ever do the All Sookie Sookie?
No, that was before True Blood.
Wait, isn't All Sookie Sookie before True Blood?
I thought Suki was about a Thailand prostitute. No?
Also called Mom. Anyway, thanks
We're
for
learning.
bringing up Thai prostitutes,
Thank you,
Marissa.
Our wonderful engineer lets us
You're
know,
welcome.
Marissa. That's interesting. I'm learning so much, like I said. I thought she was very good, as always.
Disclaimer: you guys have received training at the same school.
Yes, we have, so I have to say that because she's Groundling and I'm Groundling as well. So we have that connect. So is Taryn, too, who has a deep love
connection.
for her. I think, yeah, she's great. I loved what she kind of played around with that opening monologue and just kind of did her own thing and was a little more free with it than they would with another type of host who was not comedic based, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not as strong as her first appearance last season. Last season,
I don't know if I agree with that. actually.
Really?
Season, she had Kristen Wiig though. You know, she had a huge cast behind her, so I think that helped her make it a great show. Or
I'll
great,
agree
you know.
that they went to her more at solely her. She was the prime focus of most of these sketches this year, when that was some of them last time. I don't know. I enjoyed that episode as well greatly last time, but this time I just maybe I was in a better mood when I watched it. I don't know what, but I felt thoroughly through and through this one. The lows weren't that low, and there were plenty of highs.
Okay, but let's go. Let's revisit last year real quick. The Barbara Kelly bit with the ranch dressing she did last year.
Right.
Did you think that was on par or better than any of the sketches this year?
I thought that was probably better, but one sketch doesn't speak to.
Okay,
a
and
whole
then my
episode.
second sketch for my argument would be the balloon in the office sketch with her and Jason Sudeikis. I believe both those sketches are
What was the
superior.
balloon one?
The balloon was when they were in the office together and she was trying to court Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah,
and
right,
she was just being
right.
kind of vulgar.
That was fantastic,
She had the
yeah.
balloons and was
Yeah,
grinding on them.
Those were, by the way, those were both very clearly from her own material as a Groundlings
Most definitely, that Barbara
yeah.
Kelly character is that.
Right.
And she did that again. So.
Those two, her pathetic aggressive roles that she plays, both of those.
Which is her pitch
her
perfect.
thing, and I love it. She's fantastic.
It reminds me a little bit of, it's like Sherry O'Terry meets Chris Farley.
Right.
Because Sherry O'Terry did that pathetic aggressive a lot.
Yeah.
So.
So she, those two sketches are the ones that I remember being the good ones. So, I mean, it was a while ago, so maybe I don't remember for that reason. But also that's exactly it. I remember those as being the two standout ones.
The two highlights. Yeah.
So I'm saying that's not enough for that episode to beat this episode for me. I thought this episode was very good.
I disagree. I think the last episode was superior.
I don't know. There might be the same to me a little bit, but like I said with Kristen Wiig being on the show previously, the episode before they opened up with the bubbles, the little hand thing, and then she was the little woodchuck, picking out the wood, and I just thought that was funny. But now you mentioned all those sketches, and I completely forgot. And
I forgot about that one too. So I further submit myself.
But at the same
But
time,
that's okay. Sophomore slump. That's what they call it.
What?
It's harder the second time around.
Just because you have a catchy name for it doesn't mean it's true.
Are you sure?
She went through this sophomore slump. Oh, second time's the charm.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
See?
You really, you shoved that right in my face.
Yeah. Let's agree to agree.
Let's agree to agree.
I got a confession to make though before we move on.
Please.
With the,
Do we have
monologue.
confession music?
No.
Nope. See, that I liked. I like the simple answer. No.
Just groan into the mic. That's the music.
The monologue, the part when she's walking out with the heels.
Yeah.
Totally reminds me of myself when I'm walking stilettos.
Oh, is that right?
Where it's gotta go
tough.
slow, Yeah, it is, right?
A woman in a stiletto on a cobblestone street, I feel for you, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
You're not going to make it.
When she was like, the song, that was shorter than before. What happened? Play it again. That's like me trying to catch up with my friends when I'm in heels, because I don't wear heels,
Preach it, sister.
I was just like, this is me on the stage right now.
So when do you wear heels then? When has this happened?
Vegas a lot.
Okay, Vegas.
Yeah. And I turn out to look like one of those drunk girls carrying their heels, but really I'm sober and my feet are just
the comedy of that ankle giving. Anytime like a girl on heels and you just see the ankle go what and just pop right back up. Like it looks like it hurts, but it also she does it really well.
That is brutal.
That's part of what Melissa McCarthy is so funny is she's one of us, overweight person.
Overweight.
No. She's like your average TV viewer. Like she doesn't belong in heels. It's not one like these like stars come on and they host and they're so hard
glamorous.
to. Yeah, exactly. Melissa McCarthy. That's part of why she's so likable.
She plays to her faults. Let's call that.
But she's still really gorgeous for herself. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to.
She does. I forget that she's actually pretty good looking when she did the when she introduced the musical guest and she just has her hair done, her makeup done, and I'm like, oh, you're so much better looking than I remember.
Yeah. Did you see when that she introduced the musical guest and a hand yanked her out of the frame randomly?
I did not see
Go
that.
rewatch that. I think it might be on the second one. Actually.
The second one?
But it's just like you just see her like introduce it, and then a hand grabs her by the arm and pulls her out of frame.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think everything was all right. I hope.
We'll have to check that out. Hey, while we're checking that out, go to iTunes, rate and comment us. Yeah.
Here it is. I'm checking it out.
Yeah, please check it out. Or on YouTube. We always appreciate your thoughts, concerns, questions on Filup sexuality. Anything that you need to know.
A lot of concerns about it.
There's a lot of concern.
That's not natural what he does.
I just want to make sure he's not on my team. That's what I want to make sure.
Nor anyway. There's a Native American third gender that I relate to.
Well, we need to get that voice heard. Anywho, but
sounds
please,
like this. All right, let's
please rate and comment us. We really appreciate it. And while you're doing that, check out all the other AfterBuzz shows. There's so many great ones, and we just hope to be as good as them. Right?
One day when they actually air these.
One day when they dig them up.
Yeah. This will be found in a time capsule along with a Game Boy Color.
Game Boy Color and like a shoe from Forrest Gump or something, right?
Which I think in a time capsule would just be a shoe.
Because Forrest Gump wouldn't be significant.
Right there, the Forrest Gump did not exist. All right.
Wow.
Anyway.
We've gotten so deep. It's hard to segue out of these holes that we dig. So we'll just go right into it. Kim Jong-un. Not Il, because this Il's his dad.
So this is probably, to me, maybe the weakest sketch of the night.
The cold open. So we got it. The only thing, I mean, let's just put it out there. Dennis Rodman shows up.
He has one job to do and blows it.
Yeah, I know. He's like 10 seconds late for his job, and then he's confused on when he does it. So that
every person who knows anything about SNL, they say live from New York, it's Saturday night. Of course, he has one line, and he says live in New York, it's Saturday night.
I was wondering why I was really confused after he said that. I'm like, wait a second.
Also, because why is he there? Right?
That too,
like,
yeah.
wait a second, why are you relevant?
Well, he's barely relevant. I mean, it's just because it was linked to that story and because he went there and
what
all
a
that,
hilarious, like, made-up thing, right? Like, aging former basketball star tries to become relevant again by hanging out with North Korean dictator. Like, imagine, like, putting these people, like, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar goes back in time to visit Hitler or something. Like, it's like, why? What a weird thing.
I think he's planning ahead. He's planning ahead. He's trying to be smart and make the right friends.
You think he's just in case?
You never know.
I don't think he made the cut for Celebrity Apprentice All-Stars. So it's like, those debts are racking up. It's not,
Well, North Korean money's not worth a lot here. But yeah, in general, this there was a weird thing where there was a lot of laughter at the beginning. I just out of curiosity, I just don't know what that was.
And it also seemed, I think it was because of how the people in the audience were reading it. They seemed to be reading the joke before somebody was announcing it.
Maybe.
So there seemed to be a weird play of when, the actual audience laughter was hitting and the jokes were hitting.
Yeah, some of the timing in the beginning seemed a little bit off.
Right. Yeah, I think it was a combination of, you got 3 layers of every single line. What Bobby's saying, what it sounded like maybe Nassim was saying, and then the reading it on screen. So the timing's really weird. But also, just Bobby actually didn't nail I love him as a performer. He didn't nail the visual part of it. The timing of that, he would make the gestures kind of at an inopportune time for the joke. Someone to watch for is Fred Armisen. Whenever he does his bits where he speaks in a different language, he makes them so funny, even though you don't know what exactly he's saying. He has the timing right on that. Bobby was clucking the whole time, basically, just blah, 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 blah. Like he just got into a rhythmic cluck, as one is wont to do. But I just wish he had played with it a little bit more, like when he very clearly said Wichita State or whatever it was. It was whatever. Actually, honestly, it was an Onion headline, and that's all it needed to be, because if you go to the Onion's website, I think it's still up there right now. It's Kim Jong-un says he's for same-sex marriage, quote, "I'm not a monster." So that was an Onion headline like 2 weeks ago or something. So I also feel like they were late to this joke.
I agree. But again, they were going to be late to this joke because they haven't had a show in a month.
So then do something else, Like, just...
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. It's fair enough. The other thing, I thought they were really topical on the next bit, which was the Outside the Lines.
Right.
Yeah, for ESPN.
Yeah.
With Mike Rice, because Mike Rice, that fallout of that was earlier this week, maybe Tuesday even, I want to say. So
yeah, they were on top of that, especially for someone with so much video. I thought this was so funny. I thought this is hilarious. Like something really about Melissa McCarthy hurtling things at people and like doing damage. Like just when she just was physically pushing whoever it was off the court just with her body, like. Just so funny.
Well, were you familiar with the original story of Mike Rice?
Yeah, right.
Were you as well?
Do you want to fill in our viewers there really quick?
I can. He was the head coach of Rutgers, and an assistant coach who was leaving revealed some tape of the practice footage of him throwing balls, using slurs against the players, pushing them, throwing basketballs at them. It was ridiculous. The guy needed to be fired, and the whole mess, and now everybody's getting fired. As well they should, but that's the backstory on that. But are you guys into sports at all?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Are you about to invite us to hang out?
No, I just wanted to see. I wanted to know, since you both knew the story. I wanted to know if it transcended sports knowledge, because I watched it on ESPN. I care about sports. So exactly.
Basketball.
Basketball.
Yeah.
Basketball.
Sexy. No. Yeah. I mean, the story is definitely out there. It's on NPR every morning. There's some sort of update about it. The T-shirt cannon into the corner of the.
That was probably my favorite. I thought that was pretty good.
I liked her. It was so quick, but just at the top of a ladder throwing bricks, and then the toaster bit got me just to also just
toast. Because you're toast.
It's just launching a toaster. Anytime it's just things you haven't seen before. A toaster getting thrown at someone's back. Like, it's just such a fun image. I love that. That was so good.
Even when she was going into the classroom, just chucking the basketballs at the students and whatever, and like it was just so funny. funny to see that. Like,
you know, this one is a great example of editing. Right? It was so tightly edited. We were like in and out, and just the aggression at which she was attacking them was like visceral. You felt it because you're watching it go that fast.
Totally. And with Bill Hader, he did the jump cut to where he was hit, you know, and he was like, actually, she did nothing, and they used that very well too.
He did a great job too as that just like frozen robot, you know.
Yeah, reporter
type, hardline reporter.
They even did the part really well when they showed him for no reason, and then all of a sudden they cut to the assistant coach, and they cut back to her, like behind him.
Yeah,
you know,
through
staring,
the window.
Like,
that was really great.
God, they did put that together so fast. I mean, that's always impressive that they.
Yeah, I think really a lot of that was Wednesday. So.
Yeah.
Damn, if they didn't put that together and edit it sharply.
Light applause to the writers, creators, but mostly the crew on that.
Shout out to the crew. The crew never gives it. Shout out to our engineer. There you go. Give it up.
Yeah. And Terry Crews, wherever you are, too.
Thank you.
That was him.
And Terry Crews.
Yeah, so up next we had this bit. You actually can't watch this on Hulu, but it's The Voice parody.
And you can't watch it on Hulu because of the song they were using? What?
Yeah,
is that why it would be?
Usually it's something like that.
Usually it's a licensing issue. And I'm like, what song was she singing?
Well, she did sing a song at the top.
But I had no idea what the hell that song was. It just sucked.
I mean, it might have been just that badly.
And maybe she was just not using the melody that I didn't catch the lyrics. But that was not.
So this one you can see on NBC.com, though. It was weak, I thought, honestly. Man, I definitely like the rest of the episodes. I'll say that now. But they didn't front load it very well. This was just kind of like it could have been anyone, any situation. They just kind of wanted to make fun of the voice a little bit. It was
which
pretty thin.
They should do.
Yes,
you know.
Agreed. Definitely.
And Bill Hader did a great job as Adam Levine. You know?
Sure. And Kate McKinnon as Shakira was fantastic.
Yeah, I will say. It was the timing is still funny on that, especially the
yeah.
But if your joke consistently about people with Latin accents is that they're harder to understand, then you haven't found exactly what it is about that person.
But it's Shakira though. Shakira is very difficult to understand.
You're right, but last season they had Penelope Cruz and Salma Hayek, whatever. They've made these jokes a lot. And so it's just something that I'm now noticing, like, okay, well.
But as a Latin man, is it because you take it more personally?
I guarantee you,
I think that's what it is.
I used to have a lot of issues on Modern Family with the way they treated Sofia Vergara's character.
Because she played it up.
It was just only about that, and I was like, well, she's other things other than Hispanic. And they actually, like, I can fully, really I can really applaud them actually for turning that around. She's now like conniving at times. She's very, very smart on that show.
Sure.
Lots of other things. But yeah, so just something, you know, I know the whole SNL cast and writers are watching. If you guys can please just find some other things to make fun of your Latin friends. Keep the part where it's hard to understand them, but realize that there's more going on there too.
I'm with you on that.
I
think, but I would say that the embodiment of the character, and other than that joke of the character she was making, Kate McKinnon knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I love it.
She had the physicality very, very on, and was right there with Bill Hader being great, and Jason Sudeikis doing I forgot the country guy all of a sudden.
I should know this. My friends are gonna murder
me. Blake
Lively.
Yes,
Blake Shelton. That's what it is. Blake Shelton.
Okay, and we do have to drop some quotes there. You seem a little bit country. What does your father do? He's an alcoholic. And I live in a basement without a roof. What you're talking about is a hole.
Yeah, I liked the whole bit. Yeah.
Both of those very funny ones.
The weakest one. Jay Farrell. Usher.
I don't know what you're talking about. On my notes here it says, oh no, that says Jay sucked. Yeah, it was. I mean, the Usher was Usher. It did sound like him at the beginning.
Sure, it was a roller coaster. It was like, meow.
And then
right as it started, it went all the way down. There was no loop-de-loop. Everybody died.
Yeah, here's what happens. Have you ever seen these like amazing CGI examples where they can get a celebrity's face and they can make them kind of say anything? That's kind of what he does. He can kind of look like these people and he can mimic them, but it's like a robot is delivering these lines. It's just there's no comedic timing.
Yeah.
If you close your eyes, he does his job good, pretty good, right?
Right.
But the point
That
is to
sounds
watch
like
the show, though, so it kind of defeats the purpose.
So he's probably Stevie Wonder's favorite, is what she's getting at.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Stevie Wonder can't see. Or Ray Charles. But he can't hear anymore either.
Yep. Well, I'm sorry to the deaf and blind community about that. If it makes you feel any better, Matt doesn't have fingers. You didn't know that.
It's embarrassing. Cool. I can't even hold a Hot Pocket. And you know what's in Hot Pocket? Ham. Bake Off ham.
Ham.
And what do we want? We want Melissa McCarthy to dance. So let's just find the most absurd reason we can get her to dance. Because look at that body.
But the best dance I've seen on this show in years.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like
I
these two.
love this part right here. This part right here. It's my favorite.
Boom, boom.
She shoots him with the gun. Yeah.
Picks their feet up.
Bam.
And
ham.
I mean,
it's brilliant.
Yeah, just the cutting out of her name or the word ham consistently. It's great. This one actually also is not on Hulu, but you can see it on NBC. Or no, you actually have to search for this one a little bit online. But yeah, Gina Carrera, just that like really awkward cutout for what was it, Salt and Peppa, Push It, and CNC Music Factory, I think. God, it was just so great, and yet not a premise really.
Not at all. It was just a premise like, how do we get her to dance?
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
This is a time, anytime you see Bobby and Taryn get put in something, you're like, oh, there's gonna be dancing. They are such good dancers. I mean, we saw how fantastic Taryn was in the opener, in the monologue.
Sure.
He leaped like 6 feet straight up at one point. He's so good. And the dancing was so good. This is, again, what I mean. Every week I hit it. I love SNL to sometimes just be variety. It doesn't need to exactly be the most structured thing every time. Just entertain us. Keep us entertained different ways, different angles. Hit it from a different perspective. Yeah.
And hers is a little more freeform than Bring It On Into Omleville, a la Justin Timberlake. You know, his is a little more hammered down to what it is, but that's all it is. It's just for entertainment value and execution. Right. And that's all hers is. The dance moves are highly executed and beautiful.
Yeah. You know what I thought was poorly executed, and then they got me? The bathroom businessman thing, the whatever the product was called.
Yeah, bathroom businessman.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
a little PSA.
The only part that kind of made me chuckle was just how difficult it was to put up, where you have to anchor the shelves and everything,
right?
And then him crying and
sweating.
But I legitimately I started to write, this is crude, this is dumb, it's only kind of funny. I guess I kind of like Keenan's delivery, and then I was so thrilled with. It was a twist. They were saying, you think we would make a video like this? No, we know this is dumb.
It was a PSA for decency.
Exactly. And not only that, it's SNL at its best. Here it is. Don't let it come to this. Stop texting and checking email on the toilet. Nothing's that important, and it's disgusting. It just brought to you by decency. This is SNL social commentary. I love them doing that. I love when it's not just no offense to kind of the Groundlings world or I guess a lot of SNL in general or whatever. A lot of sketch comes from character for a lot of people, or like how do we put this person in a funny situation. I came from somewhere where something had to be bothering me about society or politics before I felt like I could write about it.
Right.
So when SNL does that, I'm very satisfied too. It's like good stand-up too. Some stand-up comedians pretend they're cable guys and then that's funny. Other stand-up comedians are showing you stuff that you didn't realize you already have observed in culture. So Jerry Seinfeld, made $1,000 off that.
Yeah, exactly $1,000.
Yeah, he made a bet. But so when SNL as socio-political commentary is, for me, it doing what it's supposed to be doing on TV, showing us, especially the social commentary, because The Daily Show has nailed it on political commentary now. But social commentary, I mean, how do you guys feel about the smartphone on the toilet?
You mean, are we going to change our ways, or?
So
well,
you're admitting
she does it.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's just like
it's a fun way to poke people,
Literally.
No, not literally.
No?
I hope not.
What are we supposed to not do?
How many people go into the bathroom with you?
2, maybe 9. I don't know. It's hard to keep track when the lights are that dim.
Exactly 1,000 people. No,
exactly
so
1,000.
Yeah, I mean here. Okay, so quickly, let's have a debate.
Okay.
Okay.
Debate.
All right. Matt, are you for or against using a smartphone on the toilet?
I'm for it.
Okay. Roya, do you mind taking the against side?
Sure.
Cool.
I'm against.
All right. So welcome back to Crossfire. Unless that name is trademarked, we are debating the social decency of whether or not the productivity achieved by using your smartphone on the toilet is worth the general disgustingness. Matt, you'll have 15 seconds. Go.
It's a busy life we live in, and we don't have a lot of time for this, that, or the other. Let alone time to go to the grocery store or whatever. You have to make your time count, and you have to use the bathroom any means necessary.
It's much busier than it used to be argument, and we need every moment to count to spend more time with our loved ones.
We don't need to rehash it. They understand what I said.
All right, and please don't do that. And then Roya, you'll have 15 seconds starting in 2 minutes. No, starting now.
You know what? Technology has taken way too much control of our lives. We need to get back to the way it was. Before we can go and sit on the toilet, we read newspapers, and those were the disgusting things that should be shared, okay? Not cell phones and writing emails.
Interesting argument. It's not about not doing something on the toilet other than that.
Exactly.
It's about not doing it with technology.
So I feel like we learned nothing from this.
The more you know.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, on Weekend Update, we had a couple visitors. We had Jacob, played by Vanessa Bayer, the little Jewish boy Jacob.
Such an adorable character.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
funny.
I thought it was a little less than what she had before, just because they kept going for the same joke there, and then they were making fun of the fact that it was the same joke.
But it beats doing homework, that one?
Yeah.
They did it 3 times. I thought that was exactly right.
She always leads with that one. This is the 3rd time she's done this character. She always
Yeah.
leads with the it beats doing homework, and then they move on. But this time they were just making fun of that.
I know, this time it actually got me to laugh on
A
that.
little more?
On
Okay.
on that 3rd one or whatever, where it's the commandments number 1, thou shalt not do homework, but it beats doing homework. It kind of seemed like a robot.
Pushing it a little bit.
I love how she stayed in character the entire until the very end. She did crack a little bit when Seth made some kind of snarky comment towards her, and she just like this is gonna keep going back to reading the.
I love that ignoring Seth bit, because that is how kids that age. Like I used to tutor kids that age, and if they're like, if you're messing with their flow at all or something, or they're confused, they just ignore you completely. That's that social commentary that I love. If you've ever been to a bar mitzvah, that is what the kid writes every time he tries to be a little clever. At first, I thought it was boring, but then or when she said that, boring.
Boring.
Boring. Yeah.
Boring with that like New Yorkish Jewish accent.
Yeah. I really. So what we barely noticed, honestly. I wouldn't blame you if you forgot Charles Barkley was a guest in Weekend Update on this one. He was just sandwiched between a lot of good stuff. So the Charles Barkley appearance, I didn't really remember it too well.
Keenan is there wasn't.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Keenan's characters, really.
Well,
he doesn't really ever sell anything.
That's
for
a pretty
me.
big bandwagon if you want to get on it.
Okay,
I'll tell you, I got off not too long ago, and I haven't looked back. I'm 6 months on Keenan's side. I think that he's got the timing that compared to Jay. I think Jay coming onto the show made me appreciate Keenan so much more. I think his characters are
so
very
you had to have a really bad person to make an okay person look good.
Well, his characters are very similar, and there's not a lot going on there, but the guy can time the hell out of his jokes. And so he actually, he didn't know Wichita State was a state. Like, he just knows how to deliver these lines, and they land. That's why he's still on the show. They're not wrong that he's.
But I keep seeing him. I don't see his character. Whoever he's trying to be, I don't. And he just kind of just stands there and sits there. He doesn't really.
So that's the same thing though, where I prefer that because it's fun. At least he's being funny to someone who like Jay, where he is a bit of a chameleon. I do see the person, and then he isn't able to bring it home.
Are you sure you're not just really excited that it's Keenan from Keenan and Kel and Keenan from All That?
Did I not lead with that? That's mostly what it is.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I just wish Kate McKinnon would do something and then they would leave. Because that's who I want to see do more stuff, especially on the Weekend desk, because she's so strong in character. That's what I want to see. But one of my probably my favorite, I'll say it's my favorite now, second to Stefan, would be Drunk Uncle. Drunk Uncle.
Drunkle.
Drunkle.
There you go.
Well, Peter Drunklage.
Yeah. Peter
stop by. Little Peter Drunklage, or Dinklage, I think it's actually
How
pronounced
are they still
as.
getting away, not only with this sketch comedically, the fact that it's still so funny, but how racist it's getting.
Yeah.
It's getting pretty intense to the point where, like...
IRS.
But you know what's funny?
Yeah.
But there's a wholesomeness to, like, Bobby when he does it. I think there's a vulnerability to the way Bobby plays his characters in general that I think he gets a little farther. Because right when Peter Dinklage started to say racist stuff, everybody was like, ugh! Like, it's not the same.
But no, I'm not gonna go that far.
He's a little person. That's how you can say it.
He's a little person.
I watch a lot of little people.
Person,
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Little People, Big World. Shout out to the Roloffs.
Yeah, Little People, Big Head, if you noticed too on there, by the way. But
okay, wow, jeez, Latinos are out of control.
He wanted to return me.
I love Peter's line. You know what's in my Tumblr? Regret.
That's the one he nailed. He definitely nailed that.
Right, but that was the only vulnerable line he had. The other ones were racist.
You have to earn it.
And that was, but it just plays to, I think it plays to his sensibilities. If they gave him more negative, self-deprecating lines, I think it would have worked better for Peter.
Absolutely, yeah.
But drunk Uncle Bobby, he can go more
with
aggressive.
his Chief Pays No Bills. There.
Chief Pays No Bills.
That's pretty good. I do want to. We don't always call these out. These were solid jokes this week. And one of my favorite news stories that they've had in a really long time: the Target dress for plus size women that the color was manatee gray.
Which I read that earlier this week.
Oh God, that is so good. I was like, how could they not see that?
Because the actual name for that color is actually manatee gray. It's just like on bowls and just in general, it's manatee gray, and it just so happened that they want to design a gray dress because they're beautiful.
I mean,
what woman does not want to go out in a gray dress?
Everyone looks good in gray. I don't know if you know that. I have to check to see if Roya was wearing gray.
Yeah, not. I already looked down before to make sure.
Yeah.
I was like,
in Florida, manatees are referred to as sea cows.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why immediately I heard the manatee, I immediately am thinking like, oh, heifer lady.
Well, it's plus size too, so it doesn't help their case.
I will note I read the article on Yahoo, and I read like the first 10 comments, and 8 of the 10 were like, I'm plus size and I thought this was hilarious. People need to back off. So I think overall it wasn't that most offensive thing, and I think everybody got a laugh out of it.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that when this happens in society, I love it. I'm not asking them like,
but that's because you're bit and beautiful and you put so much pressure on the rest of us.
I work so hard to pinch my skin fat back before I come in here.
Well, it gets my private sweaty.
Sweaty?
Sweaty?
Or wetty?
Sweaty.
Okay.
Jeez, it's a Kristen Wiig line from like 5 years ago on SNL. Amy Adams.
Now I feel dirty.
You are dirty. I'll give you $1 million wheel to spin, though. You want to spin the $1 million wheel?
Oh.
That's what that skit felt like, didn't it, Roya?
Yeah.
Because it went tick, tick, tick. Nah, no, it didn't. It landed on Bankrupt.
Yeah.
It landed on Bankrupt.
Hey, at least it was in and out, kind of.
Kind of, yeah. It was like 2 minutes.
It
felt like 9.
Yeah. But it was only one joke, so that makes it short, right?
That's true.
And it was really hampered. There's certain things nobody's that funny. And that was one of those jokes that Melissa McCarthy is just about as funny as you can get. But nobody's that funny to just go out with almost nothing and you're just like, I'm going to improv the beats here. You're not. You're not. It's not going to work. It's going to fall flat. It didn't work.
I think it's funnier than that. I think the audience gave it to her because in that room, the amount of energy and light she was giving off, like all these people were high on her pheromones. But we, at home, it's a little bit like, oh no, how many more minutes?
Yeah, and it was the weakest.
Yeah.
Feather toss. That line was
exactly.
That was like a subtle little line.
I wrote that down too, just like winning the feather toss. Yeah. Like that was the second line of the sketch. So, and that was the only time I kind of enjoyed it.
But Bill Hader, when he was he's like, my brother said hi to me. That kind of reflection.
I thought was
good.
Cute.
Yeah.
But I was like,
didn't carry on with his character at all.
Let's draw him in. Yeah. But there was nothing else.
And then Tim Robinson was hilarious in it. He had no lines, and he never even had a camera angle on him.
Well, at the back. He had the back.
Did we see the back of his head at some point?
Well, he had another sighting later we'll get to in a second. But then we had, so Barbara Keller coming back. The ranch lady from the last episode, which was my favorite bit from her last time hosting. Mrs. Keller's lone pizza. Getting a loan so she can eat pizza.
Leftover pizza.
Had you seen this character before she did it last year?
I did not, no.
Okay. Because something I'm wondering about is when you're picturing this character in your head and you kind of listen to how she talks and like what she's like, you kind of imagine pathetic aunt, maybe a little bit
Midwestern is what I get. Real strong Midwestern. Probably lives in an apartment. Alone
with animals that are dead or something, but no,
she's got a deactivated Plenty of Fish account.
Right.
You know,
all right, this is getting oddly specific.
Shut up! But, you don't know me
or your ex. But I'm starting to, or so as the sketch started though, I remember being like, oh yeah, you're tapping into that kind of person. I'm with you. And then she actually was talking, and this is only for the first maybe 25-30 seconds. It was complete disconnect the way she was playing it. Actually, it was being played like a retarded person. Like, it was extreme how dumb she was going, to the point where I was like, oh, you're actually pulling me out of this a little bit. Like scene, I started to see her costume, the wig, the outfit. I was like, this doesn't, the way you're playing this. Imagine she had played it like super ghetto. That's how it stood out to me. Where I was like, wow, this is really awkward. And then it got into her having some fun once we got into the real meat of the sketch, and it became hilarious, I thought.
She kind of reminded me of a character on Mad TV a little bit, just a little. I feel like her name was Mo. I wish I.
Oh yeah, no, I know you're thinking of. It was Mo Collins played the character. It was
she would go up against the glass. Yeah, high-waist pants. And
she had the glasses. I remember. Yeah, it was Mo Collins.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I wonder if that's why we're kind of tapping into that, because that is very much the Midwestern stereotype too in that character. I wonder if we're kind of imagining that it's supposed to be there on this one. But when she, it felt like there was a lot of improv in this too, which is very fun. Because Jason started to break a little bit. I think the pen seemed to be improvised, at least, like the constant giving him a pen. He's like, I have a pen, thank you. Like,
also when she said it says pizza on the box, that did not seem written. It was just like,
and then the probably the best moment of the sketch, I think definitely was improvised, where she bumps the chair, says excuse me to it. It's like, you don't the chair, you don't have to say excuse me to it.
I agree. Yeah, and I felt those were, there had its moments, but
well, okay, so physical comedy, though, if you want to say, like, she's a brilliant physical comedian, it's not just the pratfalls, the Chevy Chase pratfalls at the beginning. Watch her do her slow motion bit throughout this whole thing, knowing both at the end when she does it, but also when she's on her chair, and she just knows how funny it is to see all four of her limbs just go and, like, molasses speed is just so funny to watch her do. I loved it.
You loved it. We finished the night with Art of Encounters, which was like some VHS rip of some 1990s dating video, which I love Kate McKinnon, and again, it's just her body language gets me every time. It's so solid and so specific. I really enjoy it.
I don't know if you like that, watch it again. She's vibrating throughout that sketch. She has like a I think it's part of her character, but she has like a constant like head shake thing going on.
Nice. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
The two of them have a good chemistry together. I like them.
Her and Cecily?
Yes. Yeah. I love them together, and I want to see more sketches with them doing something.
Yeah, Cecily thrives in these roles. This reminds me a lot of the Swarovski Crystals character that had a foot break off in her butt or whatever.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, she does so well in these. Part of why this is funny is because it's vulgar, but I don't care. At least you framed it in an interesting way, just to like, now I'm going to do the splits on your face.
Yes.
See how that worked?
Yeah. But
like
putting
elbow, knee. You know,
yeah, exactly. Roya just gave me the elbow cupping.
Yeah.
That's step one.
There was
intercourse.
13 in the score. Did you see that? There was a 13 in the score. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
There was a 13.
But it was good. We had our last. It was a Tim Robinson sighting again at the end.
Yeah.
He got to lean in. He made a good like 1990s guy with his little kind of mullet.
God, he just looks like a face you hate. Like I like him a lot as a performer, but
he's got that.
God, I can't get over this this cupping of my elbow earlier. By the way, that was awesome.
All right. Well, Phoenix is rising. What do you guys think of the? What do you guys think of the music? Phoenix.
Phoenix is great. They're all over our local NPR station. This is an ad, by the way, for NPR. I keep bringing it up.
Sure.
Yeah, Phoenix is a cool band.
You enjoyed them?
Sure.
Both songs?
Yeah. A little bit. I mean, as much effort
got the keyboard guy out front. You just stick him in the back. He's like, I'm going right here. They're like, all right.
I liked them as much as they seemed to like being there, which is a bit.
Yeah, that was like a 6.
Like you're just like, oh yeah. Like a lot of it was literally standing, waiting, and then like leaning in for his lines. I don't know. He's just too cool for school, I guess.
I thought they were all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't have too much. Like, again, they didn't have a lot to comment on because they didn't do a lot. They look like they were like, we're getting pizza after this, right? Cool. Let's get through it.
Well, that's us. But Roya, I see, has 6 pages of notes just on Phoenix.
Yes, I do. Yep.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It beats doing homework, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, see, bam. Call it back. Call it back.
Man.
I honestly, before I don't know who they are. I tried listening to it, and it started off the instrumental, like the music was good, and then he started singing, and I was like,
Are they Listomania? Is that them?
I have no idea what the hell you just said.
Do we have the right
Listomania.
It's it's a psychological disease.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you now.
Are you? You weren't with
I'm
me
not.
before?
I just said that so we could move on. Good Lord, Philip. What the hell are you talking about?
Move on to what, man?
I don't know. Maybe predictions?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
In the year 2671, aliens will come and see a time capsule and open it up and find a shoe and instinctively know the movie this is from is probably pretty good.
And a Game Boy Color. Don't forget the Game Boy Color. Hope there's batteries.
You got it. Hey, for the first time since January, we're doing 2 shows in a row in 2 weeks' time. Yeah, that's April 13th, the next show. That's Vince Vaughn. He's a new guy, I guess. And Miguel, who's been around forever. Right? Oh, no, the other way around. There you go.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows who Miguel is. Miguel.
Yeah. He's on a cartoon
performer.
show.
He's a performer.
Right.
He's a performer. Yeah. Okay.
Dora's friend, I think.
All right, so Vince Vaughn, Miguel.
That's not his name.
No, Vince Vaughn, there was a pause. That's a verbal comma. Vince Vaughn, Miguel. What are your predictions for this April 13th episode?
I hate to say it. I don't think I'm going to like Vince Vaughn. I think he's a one-trick pony, and I think his likability ended like 3 movies ago. You know, I'm not terribly excited.
When his hairline froze around that time.
Froze?
Yeah, Vince Vaughn. It kept going up, 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 and then it was like, and then somebody froze it in time.
Have you seen AJ the Backstreet Boy?
No. Is he bald now?
Okay. Yes, massively, and then publicly.
Why do we care and she doesn't? Roya does not even care about the Backstreet Boys.
Why are you even looking up the Backstreet Boys?
Because he
he
publicly posted his post-surgery results, and it's fantastic. He has a full head of hair now and is relevant to society again.
Jeez. All right. Well, my prediction is that I'm going to get hair transplant at some point, but I think Jon Favreau is going to show up. That's what I think. That's my prediction. Roya, you have anything
I
for
don't
us?
think he's going to do that great. I think it's going to be the same character, Vince Vaughn, the entire time. I hope they do something like maybe Will Ferrell will show up. Maybe.
Or maybe he plays Vince Vaughn Miguel at some point.
Vince Vaughn Miguel?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll be watching. So let's, where can we find you, Philip, until next week?
You can find me at on Twitter at FIMO.
Cool.
You can find me on Twitter at Roy to the Ya.
That's right. You can find me on Twitter at @ThatMattKyle.
He got a Twitter account.
That's right, son.
Doesn't know how to use it.
No, I have no idea.
It's not email.
It's frightening. I'm like an Aborigine looking into a camera. It's very scary. But you can also check out my website, see if I got anything going on. That's www.matthewkyle.com. Until next week, we'll catch up with you with Vince Vaughn and Miguel.
Ooh.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.